Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to Q&A class. My name is Dr. Meghna Garg and I'm biology faculty at Q&A. Students, before beginning the class, please confirm whether am I audible or not.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Thank you for responding, Vidhi, Chaitra. Thank you so much. So, students, this is my first class with all of you. Okay. Anika, can you please mute yourself for the time being? Okay. So once I start answering your questions, then you can unmute yourself. Okay. So now, students, in today's class, we are going to begin with crop production and management. Crop production and management is a very important chapter. It is the first chapter, and it basically gives you an insight that how does agriculture takes place in the real world. Okay. So now let's see prerequisites for today's class. What prior knowledge you should have before beginning this class. So you should have a basic understanding of the term photosynthesis. Now let me ask you, how many of you have heard of the term photosynthesis? How many of you have heard of this? Okay. 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 I think everyone. Who hasn't responded yet? Hedril, Kevin, you haven't heard of this?
I know, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So yes. So you people are, most of you are aware of the term photosynthesis. Now, also you people must have heard this term agriculture.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you or not?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay. So
Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
agriculture. Okay. So agriculture, or you, most of you are aware. Okay. Now, if you see the topic weightage. So the topic which we are going to cover in today's class from crop production and management would be the types of crops. From types of crops, one question definitely comes. Okay. I'll also tell you from which part the question comes, and I will also solve questions in between to make you people used to of the type of questions which are asked in your examination. Moving ahead, what all are we going to cover in today's class? So we will be talking about autotrophic nutrition in brief, not in detail. And then we are going to study what are exactly crops. So by this, I means that we are going to cover the definition of crops. Next, we will be talking about the various types of crops. That means what exactly are the various types of crops which are present or which are cultivated by the farmers. So now let's begin the class. See, all organisms, they require food for energy. Okay. So you can see animals from here. You can see plants from here. Everyone requires food for what? For their growth and sustenance. Now, food is utilized by various organisms for various functions. Now, what are the various functions which an organism require food for? Sorry. So yes, the organism require foods for digestion. It also requires food for respiration, and it also requires food for excretion. Okay. Now, how do we take this food? So that process of intake of foods, that is called as nutrition. That is called as nutrition. Okay. Now, plants, they can prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. So plants, they can prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. This mode of nutrition is called as autotrophic nutrition. So we just got to know that basically all organisms, whether they are plants, animals, humans, they all require food for their growth and sustenance. And the process of obtaining food is called as nutrition. Now, the first mode of obtaining food by the organisms is done by the plants, which is called as autotrophic nutrition. Now, autotrophic nutrition. So, can you all tell me the raw materials which a plant needs for synthesizing their own food? Yes,
Sunlight,
everyone.
water,
Sunlight,
water and mineral, carbon
nutrition,
dioxide.
carbon
Okay,
dioxide.
okay. Okay, very good, very good. See, so now I am going to tell you the equation for photosynthesis. The first raw material which is used by plants is carbon dioxide along with water. Okay, so you can see from here the carbon dioxide that is being taken from the air. So carbon dioxide is coming from the air. Whereas water, you can see water and minerals, they are being taken by the plants from the roots. So they are being absorbed by the roots.
Ma'am, you
You're on
are
mute,
mute.
ma'am.
Okay, am I audible now?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, so now the first component which a plant require for photosynthesis is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide. So for carbon dioxide, what we are saying that carbon dioxide is obtained from the air. So see from here, this is carbon dioxide that is being taken up by the plants from the air. The second is water and minerals. Water and minerals are being taken by the plants from the roots. So I have written down roots here. Now, the third component which plants require to prepare their own food is sunlight. So, sunlight we will write here. Everyone, please write down this equation of photosynthesis with me in your notebooks parallelly. Next, next component is now, how many of you have ever heard of this statement that photosynthesis, for photosynthesis, you require green plants? How many of you have heard of this?
Ma'am, I know.
That
Ma'am,
green
I've heard of it.
plants.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
green plants in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. Why do we say green? Why
Because
not
there is
any
a
other?
Ma'am, because green
pigment
plants
called
contain chlorophyll and
chlorophyll,
chlorophyll can
which has
absorb the sunlight.
Yes, very good. Very good.
Photosynthesis.
Very good. So, yes. So, basically, green plants have a pigment which is called as chlorophyll. Now, by combining all these ingredients, the plants prepare their own food. Their food is glucose, C6H12O6, plus oxygen. So, you can see from here, sugar is the first product, this glucose. Okay, this is sugar. The second product released during the process of photosynthesis is oxygen. So oxygen I have written down here. The third product which is also released during the process of photosynthesis is water. Yes, water is also liberated. So you see from here, the water is again getting evaporated from the surface. The water is again getting released as the byproduct. Now, if you combine, if you balance this entire equation, it would be 6 CO2, 12 H2O, 6 oxygen, and 6 water. If you write down this complete equation of photosynthesis, then you are going to secure one full 1 or 2 marks. Okay, definitely this question is going to come in your examinations, 1 or 2 marks. Write down the complete equation of
Ma'am, I have a
photosynthesis.
doubt. Ma'am,
Yes, please, Hedril.
ma'am, like after the process, we get C6H12O6 plus, should
Yes,
we write only O2 or 6O2? Like,
6O2.
we should
Because
not,
there,
we should not write O2 alone.
no, 6 molecules. That means 6 molecules of oxygen.
Okay, okay.
That's
you.
balanced equation. You people must have not read balancing of the equations yet. So this is you are going to read in higher classes. So for now, just memorize this equation in this format only. So once you understand the balancing of the equations in the chemistry class, you will be able to get this.
Ma'am, I
Okay?
have one more doubt.
Yes, please, Isabel.
I'm Ishan.
Ishan. Okay, yes, please. Yes, Ishan, what's your doubt?
Ma'am, even plants with variegated leaf perform photosynthesis.
Sorry. Please repeat your question, but slowly.
Ma'am, plants with variegated also perform photosynthesis.
Ishan, I'm unable to get your voice. Can you please write your question in the chat box so that I can read it and I can answer it? Please type your question in the chat box. Everyone else, for the time being, please write down the equation of photosynthesis. This photosynthesis equation, everyone write it down in your notebooks. This is very important. Meanwhile, I'm going to take up the doubt of Ishan. Okay, so everyone else has understood this. What is photosynthesis? Ma'am, even plants with variegated leaves perform photosynthesis. Okay, so yes, see what happens. Variegated leaf contain not only chlorophyll but other photosynthetic pigments as well. Yes. So in variegated leaves, whatever the portion of the leaf would be green, that would be able to perform the function, or that would be able to perform the process of photosynthesis. Okay. Okay, Shan, got it?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Everyone else, any doubts? Okay, now let's see. Now, apart from this, so just now we said that this mode of obtaining food is called as nutrition. And one way to obtain this food is that plants, for example, they are synthesizing their own food. However, there are some other organisms which are dependent on other organisms for obtaining their food. Example, animals. Example, humans. Okay? So, for example, herbivores. Herbivores, they depend on eventually plants for obtaining their food. Similarly, you have carnivores. Carnivores, they also depend on other animals for obtaining their food. They consume other animals. Herbivores consume plants. So this mode of nutrition is called as heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, so heterotrophic mode of nutrition is performed by animals and man, where they are dependent on other sources or other organisms for their food. Got it? Okay, variegated
can you-
leaves are basic. Yes, please, I'm taking up your doubt. So for example, I'm just drawing a portion of a leaf. Suppose this is a leaf, okay? Variegated leaves are those leaves in which some portion would be green in color, okay? Whereas, for example, now I'm taking up a different color. Some portion of the leaf would be green in color, whereas some portion would be colorless. Some portion would be yellow in color, for example. So you have different parts colored in a different manner. Sometimes you see it in your plants which you grow at house also, that you have leaves which are somewhat yellowish colored, orangish colored. Only some part of the leaf is only green colored. Such leaves are called as variegated leaves. Okay, Vidhi?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Now,
Ma'am,
so solve this. Yes, please. Please.
ma'am, can you again explain the heterotrophic nutrition and autotrophic nutrition?
Ma'am, can you go back to
Okay.
the last slide? Can you go back to the last slide?
Okay, sure.
Ma'am,
Please.
autotrophic.
So autotrophic mode of nutrition is that mode of nutrition where plants synthesize their own food. Okay. So plants are doing what? They are synthesizing their own food. And the process through which they synthesize their own food is called as photosynthesis. The equation of photosynthesis is this: carbon dioxide, water, sunlight, and chlorophyll. Okay? These are all the raw materials which are required by the plants, and they eventually lead to the synthesis of sugar, which is glucose. Also, during the process of photosynthesis, oxygen and water is liberated. However, the other mode of nutrition is heterotrophic mode of nutrition. In heterotrophic mode of nutrition, the organism is not capable of synthesizing its own food. So what will organism do? It will consume other organisms. So herbivores are those organisms which consume or which feed on plants, whereas carnivores are those organisms which feed on other animals. Both the mode. So here the organisms, they are dependent on other sources for obtaining their food. This is called as autotrophic mode of heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Got it, Vidhi? Clear?
Yes,
Any
ma'am.
doubts? Anyone else? Okay, so we have all understood this concept. Now can we solve this question, please?
Autotrophic, ma'am.
Okay, so now
Autotrophic,
everyone write your
autotrophic.
answers in the chat box. Everyone write your answers in the chat box. Let's
Ma'am,
not
I'm not
disclose the
able to
answers
write.
to everyone.
Ma'am, I'm not
Let's
able
not
to write.
disclose. Why? Why?
It's saying that you can't send messages because you are not a member of the chat.
Okay, Drill, no problem. I've got your answer. You have said option number A, autotrophic. Okay.
Yes.
Rest everyone else is also saying autotrophic. Okay. So yes, well done. Everyone has to write. I'm observing the name of all candidates. Okay. Yes, very good, everyone. Puvina, very good. Ankita, Anika, sorry. Very good, Vidhi, Ishan. Okay. Now, students, please enter your name in your proper format. Okay. Please enter your name in your proper format. Now, so the correct answer would be autotrophic mode of nutrition. Now, let's see that basically plants which are performing their autotrophic mode of nutrition, they are eventually producing sugar. Okay. Now, this sugar is available to you in the form of crops. Now, let's see what exactly are crops. So, you see, first of all, that the human population is continuously growing. In order to provide food for a large population, what all do you require? First of all, there should be regular production. There should be regular production of the food. There should be regular production of the crops. Second, once you are growing the crops in a field, they should be properly managed. That means you need to supply them with proper nutrients for their proper growth, and also at the proper time, harvesting of the crops should be done. Next, distribution of food is necessary. Now, for this, I would like to ask you one question. All of you must have consumed coconut water. How many of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
Raise
ma'am.
your hands. Raise your hands in the chat.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, coconut is particularly present where? Where it is grown?
On the trees. Tall trees.
Yes. On the trees, but in which region of the country? In which region? Northern or southern?
Northern.
Southern.
Oh,
In southern.
Of India?
Yes.
Of India?
Yes.
Southern.
Yes, of India.
Southern.
Of the country. Yes. So in southern part of the country, coconut is majorly grown and cultivated. Now see this. This coconut water is not only limited to the southern part of the country. It is available everywhere across the country. Some of you might be sitting in the northern parts of the country and still enjoying the coconut water. How is it being made possible? This is being made possible from the proper distribution of food. Similarly, for example, you have apples growing where? You have apples growing in the northern part of the country, okay, in the hilly areas. But all of you enjoy apples even while you are sitting in the southern part of the country. Still, you are able to enjoy apples in your own city. So how is it being made sure? That is being made sure from the proper distribution of food. So not only cultivation is important, but distribution of food is actually equally important. Got it? Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone clear? Raise your hands or type yes in the chat box. Everyone, is it clear?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, so when we say crops, what exactly is the definition of crops? So please note down this. First of all, we say that the plants, they should be of the same kind. So first point is that when the plants are of one kind, they are of one type. That means if you are going to prepare a crop of wheat, then all the plants should be present in the field are of wheat. Similarly, if you are going to cultivate mustard, then all the plants present in the field of mustard should be of mustard only. So basically, we say any crop or any plant growing, any plant growing in the field a crop. When do we say it? When they are of the same kind. Now, second,
What will be the
they should be cultivated at
ma'am?
one place. Yes, please.
Ma'am,
Yes,
what
please.
will be the
Yes, Vidhi.
ma'am? What will be the heading?
Crop, definition of crop, agricultural practices, crop. Okay. Okay. Now see this. So plants, they are of one kind and they are grown and cultivated at one place. Okay. Now,
Ma'am.
now the next point should be that the crops, everyone clear? Shall I move ahead, students?
Ma'am, it should be cultivated at one place, right? Like, then how will be the distribution?
No. By one place, I do not mean that they are cultivated in only one region of the country. No, one place means that you have taken up a field. Okay, you have taken up a place, and in that area, you are growing crops of only one type. You are growing plants of only one type. Okay, I'm not saying that one place means that only in one region of the country. No, got it? Okay, now the third is that they should be grown at a large scale. They should be grown at large scale. Very, very important. Okay, so plants, they should be of one kind. They should be cultivated
Ma'am,
at one place.
Ma'am, can you say the
Yes.
question I asked? I was removed from the meeting. I don't know why.
Okay, no problem. I am repeating it again. Hedril, are you here with us? Okay, no problem. Okay, so now we will.
Ma'am,
You are muted.
You are on mute.
Ma'am, I'm getting removed from the meeting.
Am I audible now?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes.
Ma'am, I'm
Okay.
getting removed from the meeting.
Okay, Hedril. Okay, there might be some network issues. Okay, so no one is allowed to remove someone else. There might be. Okay, class. Okay, now focus, please. If okay, so now let's continue the class. So see now, when plants, they are of the same kind and they are grown at cultivated at one place and they are grown on a large scale, then it is called as a crop. Has everyone else written down the definition of crop? Everyone, have you written down the definition of crop?
Yes,
Raise your
ma'am.
hands. Okay, now, for example, if you are growing plants of wheat in one large scale at one particular place, then it is called as the crop of wheat. Okay, next, everyone write the definition of crop in the chat box. The 3
Ma'am, can
points
you
which
show
I
the-
asked.
Ma'am, can you show the previous slide?
Wait. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
So remember these 3 points, okay? These 3 points. Now write down the 3 points I just told you. Whenever you have to write down the definition of crop, what are the 3 points you are going to emphasize on? Everyone write it in the chat box. 3 points while writing the definition of crop. What are you going to emphasize on? Everyone write it in the chat box. Everyone write it in the chat box quickly. Anika, Chaitra, Ishan, Puvina, Vidhi, Temiz, Kevin, Karvi, Isabel, Sudipti, Hedril, Rashmitha, Venpa, everyone. Very good, Chaitra. Plants are of one kind. They are grown and cultivated at one place. And there is large scale production. Very good. The student who has entered into the chat with the name UUI, please write your full name in the chat. Please edit your name. Very good. The crop should be grown in large scale and the plants on same kind, important. And yes, the crops should be of one place. They should be grown at one place. You have missed one point, bache. Okay, correct it, please. Everyone else, start writing quickly. We are not going to take so much of time onto this. Okay, so 3 points.
Ma'am, you're on mute. Ma'am, you're on mute.
Am I audible now? I don't know how I'm getting mute again and again. I'm
Yes,
sorry for
ma'am.
the interruption. Yes. So plants, they should be of one kind, grown and cultivated, not voted, bache. Themis, Plants of one kind cultivated at one point. Cultivate. Cultivate means grown, production, doing you are something, producing something. Large scale production. Okay. Very good. Kevin, I just asked you to write that what are the 3 points for writing the definition of crop. Okay. Yes, your point is correct. But for this, you have to write down or emphasize on 3 points. Okay. 3 plants are of one kind. Sorry, what's your doubt?
Ma'am, my chat is not sending to you.
Okay, Vidhi, no problem. No problem, bache. Venpa, I would like to discuss with this you. What have you written? 3 plants are of one kind. What does this mean? What do you want to say with this? Type it in the chat box. Meanwhile, I am moving ahead.
No, ma'am, it's just the numbers, ma'am.
Yes. So I was just, okay, Venpa, got it. So there should be plants. The plants should be not of one kind. Sorry, the plant should be of one kind, not of different types. Okay. Now moving ahead to the next part. Now, crops are of different types. So, for example, the first type of crops are your cereal foods. Cereal foods, for example, they can be rice, they can be jowar, they can be maize, or it can be wheat, bajra, or ragi. So, first of all, when you are writing the types of crops, you will say types of crops. Okay. So here we are defining the types of crops based on the item or based on the food which we are getting from them. Okay. So the first one would be cereals. Now cereals, you may not need to remember all the examples. Just memorize 1 or 2 examples like wheat, jowar, bajra. Okay. The next type of crops are your vegetables. So the next type of crops would be your vegetables. Okay. Now, vegetables, for example, they can be tomato, they can be colocasia, which is arbi, they can be bitter gourd karela, they can be brinjal. How many of you don't like karela? Whenever I am teaching offline, my students mostly, they make faces whenever they hear of this karela. Okay. Now next, brinjal. Okay, like fenugreek, which is called as methi. These are different vegetables which are grown and cultivated by the farmers. The third is your fruits. Okay, so fruits are also grown as crops by the farmers. So fruits like, for example, pomegranate, which is anar, guava. Then you have oranges, for example, banana, mangoes. Okay, these are all the different type of fruits. Everyone clear? So what are the 3 types of crops we have just studied? The 3 types of
cereals, vegetables, and fruits.
very
Cereals,
good. Everyone
vegetables,
else?
fruits.
Cereal,
Very
vegetables,
good.
cereals, vegetables, and fruits.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Everyone, yes. Sudipti. Sudipti. Venpa. Ajinkya. Ishan, yes. Yes, cereal, vegetables, and fruits. Very good. Very good. Now the fourth type are flowers. So flowers are also cultivated as crops by the farmers. So flowers, for example, you have chrysanthemums, you have tuberoses, you have rose, you have marigold. Now you may not need to remember these 2 names, but remember these roses and marigold. They are easy to remember. Marigold means genda and rose you all know. Okay. So roses and marigold. Now, NCERT, according to NCERT, they have just described these 4 types of crops: cereals, vegetables, fruits, and flowers. I am going to tell you some other crops also, which are commonly grown by the farmers. For example, medicinal plants. So, medicinal plants. Can you tell me the name of any medicinal plant you know?
Ma'am, tulsi.
Aloe vera.
Very good. Very good. So you have neem, you have tulsi, you have aloe vera, and one more here is shown in the image to you, that is asparagus. Okay. So even if you don't remember asparagus, you can say tulsi and aloe vera. Asparagus is particularly shown here because asparagus is grown in a large amount by the farmers properly as a crop. Okay. So these are different medicinal plants which are grown by the farmers for medicinal benefits. Medicinal means that they give you some product which has medicinal value. Next, fibers. So now the 6th type are your fibers. Fibers, for example, some crops are grown to obtain fibers from them. For example, jute. All of you must be aware of this, jute. Okay. Next, hemp and cotton. So jute, hemp, cotton, they are also fiber crops which are grown by the farmers. Now these crops, they can be, these products, jute, hemp, cotton, they can be used for construction or for manufacturing of clothes and for other purposes as well. The next seventh type of crop. Okay, let me finish. Then I'll take up your doubt. Okay. The next seventh one would be fuels. Okay. So sometimes the farmer, they grow crops for obtaining fuels from them. Okay.
Ma'am,
Just wait.
someone removed me from meeting.
Ma'am, someone removed me from the meeting.
Ma'am, same.
Okay. We will see, students, there might be network issues because no one is allowed to remove anyone that is not present in the settings of this meeting. So again, but do not worry. I will check this later on. Okay, we will get back to you on this later on. So for now, let's move ahead. So now the next type of crops which are grown by
Ma'am.
the farmers are fuels. Yes.
Ma'am, for fiber crops, can we write coconut? Because the fiber of coconut are used to make ropes.
Yes. So see, coconuts are basically grown for coconuts are basically grown primarily for consuming them as either food or oil. The third purpose of coconut can be fibers as well, but that you can consider as a separate process. That is just a supplementary process which you can do. So you can obviously write coconut fibers, but coconut is primarily grown for consuming it as either as a food or either making or oil from it, obtaining oil from it. So the best examples to write in fiber crops would be jute or cotton. Otherwise, if you write even coconut and in bracket you write fibers, then that would be also acceptable. Got it?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, next is fuels. So fuels, for example, there is one crop which is called as jatropha. Okay, jatropha is one crop which is now being grown by the farmers. So these are some crops which are rarely grown and which are not really, I'll say selectively grown by some farmers. And they are very economically, they are very highly priced crops. Okay, so fuels, for example, some farmers, they can cultivate jatropha as well. Okay, so these are the various.
Ma'am, what do you mean by the term fuels?
Okay, so fuels basically means that they are producing something which can be used as a source of energy. Okay,
ma'am.
they can be used as a source of energy. So now we have understood the 7 types of crops. Okay, in NCERT we have just studied 4 types of crops. So I have just given you examples of more 3 types of crops which can be grown by the farmers. Now, crops can also be classified on the basis of season in which they grow. For example, some crops, the image shown to you here is actually of a place, or you can say winter season. So some crops, they are grown in winter season. Some crops, they are grown in summer season. Some crops, they are grown in rainy season. So apart from the type of food which we get from the crops, crops can also be classified on the basis of season in which they grow. Okay, so India is a vast country and you have different climate present in different parts of the country. These climatic conditions depend on 3 factors: temperature, second is humidity, and the third one is rainfall. So these are the 3 factors: temperature, humidity, and rainfall, which vary in different regions of the country. And once they are varying in different regions of the country, then they lead to the generation of different climates in different parts of the country. Accordingly, what will happen? According to the climate, according to the climatic variations, different types of crops would be grown in different parts of the country. So what have we understood? That the temperature, humidity, and rainfall, they vary in different parts of the country. This leads to change in climate in different parts of the country. And according to the climate, you have different crops grown in different parts of the country. So now see from here, for example, in Kashmir, there is production of saffron. In southern parts of the country, you have production of coffee. In West Bengal or in this particular, in Odisha or in this particular region, you have more production of nuts. Similarly, in areas like this, you have more, in Punjab, Haryana, you have more production of maize. So that's how the climate changes, and that's how the production changes. Okay, the crop which you are growing changes. Got it? Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now solve this question.
All of
Ma'am,
these.
all of the above.
All of them.
Above, ma'am.
All.
Okay. Everyone else, write your answers in the chat box. Those who cannot unmute themselves, those who can unmute, they have already answered. Very good. Very good. So yes, Sam is very good. Vidhi, Isabel, Sudipti. Very good. Very good, Anika. Very good, Chaitra. Very good, Hedril, Vempa, Ishan, Ajinkya, Rishmita. Very good. So yes, the correct. Yes, very good. So the correct answer would be all of the above. Now, based on this, there are two types of broad cropping patterns which can be seen. So now we are going to define the types of crops which we can found based on the seasons. So the first type of crops, they are called as Kharif crops. Kharif crops, they are generally sown in rainy season. That means they are grown from the months of June to September. Okay, so Kharif crops, they are grown from the months of June to September. Examples are paddy. Now see, paddy means rice. Paddy means rice. For rice production, you need a lot amount of water. So nature has already provided you with the best solution. So in rainy season, water is present in good quantity. So obviously paddy production would be easier in that season. Next, maize, soybean, groundnut, cotton. These are all examples of Kharif crops. So Kharif crops, they are grown in the regions in the seasons, rainy season, and particularly from June to September. Now the next type of crops are your Rabi crops. Rabi crops are also called as winter crops. And they are sown and grown from the period of October to March. So please remember this, that they are sown and cultivated from the period of October
Ma'am.
to March.
Ma'am, can you
Yes.
show the previous slide? I just want to take a screenshot.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
So
Yes.
next, so Rabi crops October to March. So examples are wheat. Then you have gram, pea, mustard, and linseeds. So these are the various examples of the crops which are grown during the winter season. Got it, everyone? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am.
Anika. Now the third type of crops are called as zaid crops, not zair crops, zaid crops. Zaid crops we are going to discuss. So I was about to give you homework for today's class, but it's absolutely okay. So zaid crops we are going to discuss in next class. Okay. So the time period which is present between the Kharif and Rabi crops, from that period only, in that period only, we grow zaid crops. Zaid crops are basically filler crops. So filler crops, that means in the season which is present between Kharif and Rabi. The crops grown during the zaid crops, for example, watermelon, okay, musk melon. So these are the crops which are grown during the zaid period, zaid crops. Now, besides this, pulses and vegetables, they are also grown during summers. So now students, solve this question. Solve this question, everyone.
Ma'am, both the statements are true.
Okay. Now, I want everyone who can write the
ma'am,
answers in the chat box. Who can write the answers in the chat box to type the answers in the chat box? Who can write? Otherwise, if you cannot write, then only unmute yourself and say your answer. Otherwise, everyone else write your answers in the chat box. Okay. C, option number C.
Statement 1 is true, statement 2 is false.
Okay. Okay. So yes, well done. The correct answer to this would be statement number 1 is true. That is option number C, not D. Okay. So we will correct this, not to worry. So this is option number C. The thing is written here. Statement 1 is true, but statement 2 is false. Yes. Kharif crops are sown during rainy season. Yes, true. Rabi crops are sown in June to September. No, they are sown in October to March. Okay. So option number C is absolutely correct. Well done, everyone. Now, moving ahead, identify the odd one out. For this, I am going to give you one hint. Write the
Ma'am, I
type
think
of crop
option
which
B.
they are.
I think
Option B.
mustard, because mustard is a oil crop.
Mustard.
Write down
Mustard.
the season. Write down the season in which they are grown. Okay, write down whether it is a kharif or whether it is a rabi crop. Write down in front of each crop whether it is a kharif or whether it is a rabi crop. Okay. So the correct answer to this would be option number B, mustard. Why? Mustard is a rabi crop. Rest, paddy, cotton, maize, they're all kharif crops.
Kharif.
So mustard, rabi crop, that is that is odd one out from the following. Got it? So now students, let's conclude what we have studied. So basically we have read till now what exactly are crops. So we have understood the definition of crops. Then we have read the types of crops based on the food from which we obtain from them. For example, they can be cereals, they can be vegetables, they can be fruits, they can be flowers, medicinal plants, etc. And based on the season, they can be of two types, kharif and rabi crops. Okay, so memorize some examples. And zaid crops also I'll tell you in detail in next class. Zaid crops are nothing but basically they are filler crops. Okay, so they are grown in the time period which is left between Rabi and Kharif. And the example of Zaid crops is, for example, watermelon. Okay, watermelon. Now, what's next? So in next class, we would be moving ahead with agricultural practices. Now, students, have you enjoyed the class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, have you enjoyed the class, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now I am going to tell you two things, students. First of all, there is a feedback form present in the chat. If you scroll above, then you will find the feedback form. Please, everyone, I request all of you to fill that feedback form. Also, students,
Done, ma'am.
our team, okay, thank you. Our team will call you and our team will ask you your details for diagnostic test. So we are going to conduct a diagnostic test because that is our first base. That test is not to judge you. No, we are not judging you. We are not taking your actual test. That is just basically. So whenever you solve some questions, we get an idea of what are your strength areas, what are your weak areas, okay? Which are your opportunity areas where you can work harder, where you can work and you can make those topics as your strength. So that's how we will be better able to that's how we'll be in a better manner able to connect with you all. And also you will also get an analysis of yourself that what are your weak areas, where do you need to focus more. So just consider this test as very light test. Nobody is going to judge you based on the marks you obtain. No one. Okay, so take it very sportingly, in a very sporting manner. We all understand that you people have just entered into this class, so there is going to no need to take pressure of the test. Just attempt whatever you think would be right and whatever you know. Okay. Yes. So yes, during the summer break, we will have these classes regularly for you. Any doubts, anyone? Any doubts, anyone?
Do we have to fill
No,
the
ma'am.
form now?
No, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, please. So you can open the feedback form and please fill that feedback form. I am now leaving the meeting. So that would be available to you in the chat section already. I've already posted that. So please everyone go and fill that feedback form. So with this students, I hope you have enjoyed the class. Okay. Now I'll take your leave. Bye-bye. And thank you everyone for being present in today's class. And I hope you have enjoyed this.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Bye, ma'am. Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Thank you
Bye,
everyone.
ma'am.
Bye-bye. And I'll see you in next class. Bye
Yes,
everyone.
ma'am.